Broadcasts of the City of Neenah Common Council meetings are produced by University Studios of the University of Wisconsin-Fox Valley. Neenah residents can get information about City Council meetings, City Committee meetings, meeting agendas, and other documents via the City website, www.neenahgov.org. Neenah residents can express their opinions about city issues or about these broadcasts by contacting the mayor's office, contacting their city alderman, or by completing the electronic feedback form on the city website, www.neenahgov.org. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited for playback.
All right, technical difficulties aside, we are ready to begin. All right. First order of business is roll call, and the pledge of allegiance will be done by Alderman Neenah. To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic, one nation, under God, indivisible.
Alderman Boyette. Erickson. Here. Hillstrom. Here. Lendrum.
Here.
Steiner.
Here.
Stevenson.
Here.
Skirms.
Here.
Weber.
Here.
And Borchert.
Here. I'm filling in for Jane today. She's holding babies. Probably much more enjoyable council meeting. Second order business introduction, any confirmation of the mayor's appointments? There are none. Moving on to approval of the council proceedings. Approval of the council minutes and proceedings for October 18th, 2020 regular session. Any dissent to unanimous consent? Seeing none, those are approved. At this time, we'll have public forum. Speakers should give their name and residential address, not mailing address, and are allowed 5 minutes to speak on any topic. So at this point, we'll open up open forum. If there's anyone that would like to address the council, feel free to do so. Okay. Seeing none. There would be no mayoral council consideration for public issues. No consent agenda. Moving on to reports of standing committees. Regular Public Safety Services Safety Committee meeting held on October 24th, 2023. Chairperson. Oh, it's canceled.
I can say it. It was canceled.
All right. This is easy.
Could
All
you
right.
elaborate, please, on that?
All right, yes. Please describe. No, okay. Special Finance and Personnel Committee meeting of November 1st. Chairperson Erickson.
Thank you. Reporting out from the Special Finance and Personnel Committee meeting of November 1st, 2023. Item number 1, consideration of the committee recommendation regarding entering into an agreement to purchase a stretch of fiber optics infrastructure running from Commercial and Franklin Streets to the northeast corner of Oak Hill Cemetery from the Neenah Joint School District for a cost of $15,000, with the purchase being funded from Information Systems Fiber Build Capital Equipment Account 011-1787-743-8115.
Have a motion?
Nope.
I'll make that motion.
So moved by Alderman Stevenson, second by Alderman Stern. Any discussion? Alderman Boyette.
Thank you. So I, as in committee, I voted against this because I believe that it's a want and not a need at this time. I understand for our future it could be beneficial. However, I am in hopes that the situation could change and we could work something out better than what we've been given here from the school district. And that is why I'm voting no on this. I don't think it's something that we need to press on with at this time.
Boyette, Alderman Stevenson.
Thank you, President Borchert. So, I'd like to ask Joe to come forward and give us a confirmation as to dollars remaining in the funding source that we're using. Joe tells me we have $50,000, and while I agree with Alderperson Boyette and other committee members regarding the performance of the current owners of these lines, I think the value that we get for the price that we get is well worth it. And Joe might be able to tell us what else we might be able to do because we save money doing it this way.
Yeah, right now we've got $50,000 in that account just for fiber purchases, fiber builds. We have also, if we're connecting, say, other traffic signals, which is part of an initiative of our smart cities, to have those all connected back to the traffic engineer's office. We take that little bit of fiber work and we usually run that through, as part of the project, through our Smart Cities funding, which has about $143,000 in it. But what this would do is it would allow us to only have to build the last mile, figuratively, not mile, to get to the cemetery, which is right now in Spectrum. It would also allow us to get to Easy Path with the same fiber to Washington Park. Between the two parks, we spend about $300 a month on Spectrum services, about another $50 on firewall services support, because we have to have a firewall between Spectrum's network and our network, which would all go away. What we would be doing is we'd be connecting the cemetery, which right now does run on Spectrum. They've got a Spectrum phone, so we pay for phone out there. There's none of the capabilities that our phone system brings to everybody else in the city with that line, because it's like dialing just a separate analog line. It would connect, as I said, we're trying, got an initiative to go ahead and connect traffic signals back to our network and back to the traffic engineer's office. Right now, when we did our last fiber build downtown and past the plaza when that was being built, we connected the traffic signals on Church in Wisconsin, Commercial in Wisconsin, Columbia in Commercial, and Winneconne in Commercial. This would allow us to add 3 more. Eventually, we would connect on Main and Lake, because we're running right down Main Street to Western Avenue and then Western over to North Street and then up to the northeast corner of the cemetery. It would allow us, once we got into the cemetery facility, to come back that block and connect Green Bay Road and Main Street. And then it would also, when we connect Washington Park, would allow us to connect Winneconne Avenue and Harrison. So it would bring those 3 into the fold there. There has been some real brief discussions on possibly doing something with fiber to some of the lift stations. I'm not sure. Jerry can maybe share more light on that, what's going on there. But I know right now they've got a fair amount of them are still on old analog dial-up systems, which if I read Greg Radke correctly, is not real reliable at this time, and they're trying to move to something else. And it would just give us fiber out into that cemetery area if we had any other projects coming up out there.
So like, thanks, Jerry. Joe. This is this is one path down what's going to be a long line of wireless communication technology, and we don't like negotiations that happen. It's not the first time, and we need to recognize that this is a value compared to if we want to take it on ourselves, and it does free up additional dollars to do all the other things that we could eventually do in the next coming years. So I support the motion.
Alderman Weber.
Thanks, Joe. Just quick follow-up. So is there a risk, say, if we didn't do it now, there's, say, another buyer, so to speak, for this, or?
At this point, I don't believe there's another buyer. This is connected through the school district and the city and the county's connection to WISNET, which is a government and school district educational ISP. So in order for somebody else to purchase, they would basically have to have facilities along that route that they'd want to connect.
Okay.
What it would do is just delay this, and we continue to pay the $325 or so, $350 a month for our connections to Spectrum for what I believe is poor service. Right now, we're bare minimum, and they've got 100 meg service, and my wife screams at me with 300 meg Spectrum service at home, so it's next thing next to dial-up modems.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Question? Okay. Seeing none, we will vote. Please indicate on your voting device. Motion to 6, 7 to passes.
Item number 2, consideration of committee recommendation regarding resolution number 2023-30, approval of project for Winnebago County Spirit Fund, local government allocation, and I so move.
For a second. Motion made, seconded. by Alderman Erickson, seconded by Alderman Boyette. Any discussion on? Alderman Erickson.
I would like, Director, to explain this to the rest of the council since we just had our meeting a few minutes ago.
Thank you. Yes, this is, in March of 2023, the Winnebago County had created a spirit fund out from their ARPA dollars. And with that, they passed a resolution that they would pay each municipality $145,000. So altogether, it was $3,045,000 they were allocating out to all the municipalities in the county. With this, there was certain steps we had to follow in order to receive this money. We had to identify a project, and it would have to be a one-time expense that had a legacy to it, and we needed to identify the project, which we have now, and it is one that has already happened, and we are able to do that because we can ask for the reimbursement. And the project that we chose was the street resurfacing of Hunt Avenue, Brookwood Drive, and Fairwood Drive. The total project cost was $486,851. This area had a rating of 2 on the Paisley rating system, so that's in very poor condition. And with that, this area also had a census block group comprised of 71% of low to moderate income households. So this will help a neighborhood that had very poor streets and that has a low to moderate income. So we thought this was a good project, and we just need approval that we can use this project to be reimbursed for our funds of $145,000.
Alderman Skirms.
Just a thank you out to Director Rasmussen for chasing after this. I know it took a lot of effort, and it's not easy to work with the county, particularly when it's something like this. So thank you for your effort to go find this money to help us out.
Further discussion, motion. Alderman Stevenson.
Yeah, thank you, President Borchard. Director Rasmussen, maybe you should share with the rest of the council, these were borrowed dollars that we had utilized
That is correct.
to fund the project. So my assumption is that these dollars will go back into either debt service or some methodology to recognize the cost for that.
Yes, and I would like to put it into the debt service so we can start not borrowing as much and put it against the borrowings.
So it's not going into the levy pot.
Right. Thank you for that clarification.
Further discussion? Seeing none, please vote and indicate on your device. Unanimous. On to the regular Finance and Personnel Committee meeting of October 23rd. Chairperson Eric.
Thank you. Item number 1, committee recommends council approve resolution 2023-28, transportation assessment replacement fee, the TARF, for 2024, and providing for a cap on the fee and to exempt any properties that have been issued special assessments for street construction in 2023 for 5 years. And I so move.
Made, second by Alderman Boyette. Any discussion on Alderman Steiner?
I know we were talking a little bit before the meeting that there's one item, the latest version didn't make it into the packet in regards to exempting new development from the TARF for 5 years. And so at this point, would I make a motion to make that alteration? What would be the typical protocol for that?
I just put it on the screen.
Okay. The very bottom paragraph of that first page. Yep. Okay, so that's what we're voting on.
Correct, and it's also it's on the agenda. The exact wordage is on the agenda as well.
Okay, thank you.
Alderman Boyette.
Thank you. I also have a question. It also was to be revisited every year. Where is that written? Great, thanks. Appreciate it.
Any further questions? Dean?
I have a question. Yeah, so I started to ask Alderperson Steiner the question, but I'll ask in the group. Who was assessed in 23 that would now be exempt? And for what reason were they assessed? Because unless it's new construction.
It's the new construction.
Okay. So we assess people, well, but TARP's not supposed to pay for new construction, right?
That's correct, it's not.
So what is this action gonna?
This action will exempt people with the new subdivision street construction from paying the TARF for 5 years.
Well, that's not the way TARP was supposed to work. You were when we first created, correct me if I'm wrong here, but, because I'm obviously not prepared, but when we created TARP, those that had paid some assessments over, I think, 2 years, were given exemptions or gradually put into the TARP payment program. But anybody, if I had a new street the year that TARP was created, I still paid 100% of the assessment, right?
You still pay 100% of the assessment, but the TARF fee is left off the utility bill for those streets. So in the case of when we implemented the TARF, we had some properties in Castle Oak that had been built in 2016, I want to say. Those were exempted for a year or two. We had some properties in Eagle Crest and Nature Trails that were exempted. They'd been built in 2018. And so they just are getting rolled onto the TARF now.
Really? So what's the connection between new construction and contribution and participation in the TARP fee? I don't understand the connection, other than they're both assessments. The new everybody is always paid for new streets, right? Or
Yes.
Typically the developers pay for them and you pay for them through your lot sales and whatever. But I guess I never realized that we gave exemptions on TARP payments to people who paid new construction assessments. And if we did, then I missed that, but.
Yeah, that would go back to, I guess, when we first implemented it, the discussions that were held on how we handled properties that were subject to a recent assessment. And I think that that topic was discussed more broadly, not specific to people that were assessed for reconstructions or resurfacing, but people that were assessed for street work overall. So that's how it has been applied.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Any further discussion? Alderman Weber?
Just a question for the commission. So where did the 5-year number come from? Any discussion or any
No.
rationale?
There's no magic to that. That was in the initial TARF resolution. It was a 5-year waiver.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Alderman Steiner?
And my thinking of it, it was something that we've done in the past, and if somebody has just gone through and received an assessment, it would basically give a bit of a reprieve over 5 years so that they wouldn't also be paying the TARF. It's kind of, I understand that it's two different concepts, but it's from a financial standpoint to give them a little bit of breathing room, having just paid for an assessment. So that was my feeling. That's why I supported it.
Any further discussion? Question? Seeing none, please indicate your vote on your device. Clearly passes 9-0. Thank you. Chairman Erickson?
That concludes my report.
All right, on to mine. Neenah National Fire and Rescue Joint Personnel Committee meeting, October 24th, 2023. Minutes can be found on the website. The committee recommends council approve Neenah and Menasha's 2024 operating and CIP budget with the deductions presented by both mayors that resulted in a total deduction of $111,250 to the overall 2024 operation budget. I so move.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Stevenson. Any questions or comments on this? Seeing none, indicate your vote on your device. Clearly passes 9-0. Thank you for your report, Alderman Borchard. On to reports of special committee and liaisons of various special projects and committees. All right, regular plan commission was canceled. Let's, want to say that?
I'm good.
Okay, thanks. Just want to check. All right. Board of Public Works meeting, October 31st. Vice Chairman Hillstrom.
Thank you, Council President Borchert. The minutes from this meeting can be found on the city website. Tonight, we have only 2 informational items. Item A, the board approved change order number 1, Neenah Creek Bridge, for additional rebar, cleaning, grubbing, pile steel, and silt screen to Pfeiffer Brothers in the amount of $10,281.34. B, the board approved pay request number 1, Neenah Creek Bridge to Pfeiffer Brothers in the amount of $222,046.22. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Vice Chairman. Kathy, you have a comment on it?
Yeah, I'm just curious, which bridges? Because the creek runs under a bunch of them. So I'm
The
just
new one.
curious which bridge.
It's by, kind of by Ground
The
Round.
one by
Ground Round. kind of.
that
Bridgewood.
bridge.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The new one
Thank
at
you.
Bridgewood.
Thank you.
No problem.
Lot of bridge.
All right. Thank you, Vice Chairman Hillstrom. On to Sustainability Committee.
It was canceled.
Sensing a theme here. All right, on to the Berkshire Mahler Museum, my report. Support Your Museum Annual Fund Drive campaign November 2nd, 2023 to January 15th, 2024. There were generous museum supporters, Roger and Lynn Van Vreede, Jock and Maria Stafford, Christina Waterhouse, and Sandra and John Valentine generously agreed to combine 40,000 matching gifts. So we are hoping that others in the community will support that end of the year appeal. Membership Museum Shop promo. Give the gift of membership November 24th, December 31st. You have the option of giving the gift of membership and receive a free ornament from the museum shop. Community events, Art After Dark, Gingerbread House, December 14th, 5:30 to 8. Admission is free. Please check out the website for details on that. The fundraiser, if you haven't had a chance to, the Crystal Ball is February 10th from 6 to 10 at the Reserve downtown. Ticket prices are $125 per person or $1,500 per table of 8. They have Janet Planet scheduled to perform along with the 6 band for music. And lastly, community events used by numbers, Women's Collaboration Mural. Various dates and times. Admission is free. Please check the Berkshire Mahler Museum of Class website for those details. That's my report. On to the Parks and Recreation report. Alderman Weber.
Thank you, Council President Borchert. The Park and Rec Commission met on October 19th. The minutes are on the city website. There were a few highlights. There was one of the business items was some discussion and a rendering presented for the Veterans Flag Memorial at Shattuck Park. And there was a few veterans representatives there too to discuss sort of the design and things like that. So the commission did vote to accept the rendering concept as presented, and the next step then is to develop a memorandum of understanding with the veterans organization. So go through that step next. Another business item, the Carpenter Preserve, I'll say draft remaster plan was presented by Grafe Engineering. Quite a bit of discussion about the different content that was included based on the surveys that were sent out and some of the public forum input and things like that. So there was no action taken, but there was a lot of discussion around potential changes and ways to phase some of the costing and things like that. And in next commission meeting on November 16th, there will be further discussion on the action to move forward. And then lastly, the shoreline master plan the concept plan was adopted, and Park and Rec staff was authorized to engage in the first task to move forward to kind of do the studies and engineering that is needed. So that's part of the 2023 CIP funds, not to exceed $26,400. So, and those are the key action items, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Alderperson Weber. Appreciate the report. Right. Any petitions, or excuse me, presentation of petitions? Any petitions received yet?
No petitions.
None. Any council directives? None. Unfinished business? There's none. Any new business? Anything, announcements, questions that legally come before council? Okay. None. Kathy, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
You bet.
So it is that time of year again. Halloween is gone, and this year it was super snowy, and a lot of kids didn't go out, so we probably have a lot of leftover candy. And what I'm getting at is for 10 years now, we've been collecting all the leftovers to ship overseas to our deployed soldiers. And those candies can be dropped off at 807 Nicolay Boulevard here in Neenah to go and be shipped to our soldiers that are local, that are deployed currently. And they make lots of friends when we ship them 6 and 7 and 10 large-size boxes full of candy. So I'm hoping that Neenah does have some extras and they want to donate. Thank you.
Thank you for doing that, Boyette. That's a 10% tax for you. Right? Awesome. Okay, any other new business or announcements? Yes.
Thank you. I just wanted to remind everybody about budget workshop next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That's a 6 p.m. start. And then the budget public hearing will be on Tuesday, November 14th at 7 p.m. Those are scheduled changes.
Feel free, as we have tradition, bring some snacks. We'll send out a list and see if you want to bring some sweets, treats, turkey. So, all right. So, end of the meeting. I use a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Moved by Stevenson, seconded by Boyette. Thank you both. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.